Hello everybody, this is September and I am checking in from the Hanure server. In this video I am going to cover the basics of sunken treasure chest farming. I'm going to cover the basics of what you need to get started and what you can kind of expect for your efforts. Okay, so first let's talk about getting started. There's really only two things you absolutely need to do the sunken treasure chest farming. The first, of course, is labor. Each chest that you loot is going to cost you 25 labor, and that uses the exploration proficiency. The second thing that you need is a recovery pouch. Now, you can actually craft these yourself at a leatherworking workbench. What you'll need is 25 labor to craft, a recovery pouch kit. Those are available from the general vendor for 10 silver, and you'll also need one piece of leather. This craft actually uses the exploration proficiency, so if you have a higher skill level, you can get some labor reduction. Unfortunately for me, I just have 10k exploration. Okay, so next I want to talk about the not required per se type items, but you're going to find these things very helpful. There's three of them that I recommend having. The first one being a potion called Dahuda's Bubble. Everybody should be familiar with that. The second one being the swim fins. That is a plus 30% swim speed for your feet. Or alternatively, you can use the Eternal Defiance boots, which is plus 40 swim speed. And the last item would be an underwater mount like a submarine or a dolphin. Now, the Dahuda's Bubble potion, everybody should be familiar with that thing. You can make that at an alchemy workbench, or like most people do, just buy it from the auction house. The swim fins can be crafted at a plate armor workbench, or alternatively, you can find the Eternal Defiance boots in special chests near the Dahuda 10-man dungeon. And actually, if you're interested in that, I'm not going to cover that because Quimbeck actually made a very, very good video, which I'm going to link in the video description, on how you go about finding those rare Eternal Defiance boots. And finally, the submarine or the dolphin. The submarine you can craft using Gilda stars with a pattern from Mirage Isle. There's also a chrome submarine that you can get by actually doing what we're doing in this video, or you can sometimes buy them off the auction house. More on that here in a little bit. There's also the dolphin mount, which was given to everybody a couple years back for what they call Dolphin Gate, but you can also find the pink dolphin, the fuchsia fin, from the Dahuda 10-man dungeon. Okay, so once you have your items, it's time to get out there and start hunting. Now, sunken treasure chests are really found all over the sea, like anywhere. But I have found the best spots, at least for me, to be around small islands or seashores where logically, like if we were in game, a ship could have run aground. There's also maps posted online with all kinds of locations, and I also know that some people that do this every day, they have like these paths that they like to follow. They'll just like do a big loop and check all these locations for these sunken chests. Now for me, what I did is I spent about an hour and I started out at my house and I kind of hovered around this area that you can see here. The key to finding chests for me has been to check around again these small islands. What I'm looking for is shipwrecks. And as you can see as the video plays here in the background, there are shipwrecks. And when you find a shipwreck, you hone in on the location and you kind of look around a little bit and you'll see maybe no treasure chest, or you could actually find up to 4 treasure chests at a single shipwreck. Okay, so once you locate a sunken chest, as you've been watching this video in the background, you'll need to interact with it. What this does is it actually attaches one of your recovery pouches, and it costs you 25 labor. And from there, the treasure chest will float up to the surface. All you have to do is simply follow that pouch to the surface and 41 seconds from after you attach the recovery pouch to the chest, it will become lootable. From there, you can just loot it and gather your reward. From there, you're going to head back down to the seafloor so you can get your next chest. There's a couple things that you kind of need to be aware of. So first of all, you should be aware after you interact with the chest, which is attaching your recovery pouch to it, you're going to get a 2-minute debuff called the Ghastly Aura. Now, this prevents you from interacting with another chest for 2 minutes. So you must wait for that debuff to clear, which is why I suggest you follow the chest to the top. It does take you some time to follow that chest and then get back down. And you'll have to wait, a few seconds before you can get to the next chest. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much how you do the treasure chest. But let me talk about why people actually do this thing. First of all, it's a pretty solitary type activity. So if you're tired of the hustle and bustle or the daily grinding of all these stupid quests, this activity requires very little investment and is something that you can do by yourself. And you can do it with any skill level, which to me is a very nice bonus. Second is the potential reward. If you have ever been in game and you have seen a pop-up saying something like, the Perdita statue has been found at these crazy coordinates, there is somebody very happily in game at those coordinates wearing 1,000 gold pack on their back. 1,000 gold. Now, while I didn't actually find any in my hour of farming, besides the Perdita statue, you can find Delphinod pottery packs, which are actually worth 100 gold. Now, you can turn those packs in, if you're lucky enough to find one, at the Arcane Treasure guides, like where you turn in the Sunken Ships or the Delphinod Ghost Ship packs. So additionally, there's some other items that you can find, and they're quest related. So there's these journal pages that you can find, and they're used for creating books, but they're ultimately used for giving you a quest that gives you the title. The most common drop will be the vault stones, which are used to make housing decor items, but they are also part of a very cool title that I've been wearing throughout this video called Abyssal Archaeologist. That actually gives you another plus 10% swim speed. Now, this title is very, very cool, and because of that, I'm going to post a link in the video description on the IGN guide so you can work on that as you do this treasure hunting. Okay, so you're probably wondering, how did I do in my 1 hour of farming? Well, if you follow my channel, in typical fashion, I have made a spreadsheet, which we're going to take a look at, and it's also going to be available in the video description below. So let's take a look at it. As you can see here, in my 1 hour of farming, I found a total of 18 sunken chests. When you open each chest, you're going to get one of 4 types of loot. The first being the most common, which is the vault stones. They drop in quantities anywhere from 1 to 3. Second common item is going to be the loot type. And each one of the loot type contains 1 chrome submarine scrap. And you'll need 200 scraps. It used to be 100. Now it's 200. That's in 3.0. Now it's 200 submarine scraps, and you can make a chrome submarine design, which you can sell on the auction house or you can craft yourself. And in this video, I've actually been using one. The other part of the loot type is a journal entry. Now, those are used. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second. And the other part of the loot type drop is some random vendor trash. As you can see here in the spreadsheet, I've got that stuff listed. And additionally, you'll also receive an Enoan shipwright bag, which is the arcane version. Now, those are pretty valuable bags because they can contain high-valued ship design pieces like the Seabreeze planks or the Seabreeze compass designs. Those are very, very rare. So if you get those are worth, you know, upwards, depending on your server type, you know, 500 or a couple thousand gold. I know when I got my Sea Breeze plank designs, they were like 1,500 gold each. So even if you get crap designs, these bags are still good. Because if you look here, I've actually valued each one of these 3 bags that I found at 23 gold on the legacy servers. That's not bad. In total, I spent 450 labor picking up the treasure chests with, well, attaching flotation devices to them. And then I also spent 450 labor crafting those recovery pouches. That, of course, would be offset if I actually had a higher proficiency than 10K, where I start getting labor reduction. But even though I don't, this example here, it turns out to making 9.5 silver per labor. Now, all things considered, that's not really a horrible way to spend your labor. And had I actually found a 100 gold pack, or even a Perdita statue, I'd be shitting in tall cotton. Okay, so there you have it. This is a very condensed overlook at the sunken treasure chest hunting, or farming, if you will. It's actually really easy to do, but there's actually a lot of things that I could talk about in more detail, because there's a lot of questions from a new player's perspective, which is really the people that I'm trying to help. But there's a lot of nuances that I didn't really want to cover, because my goal here in this video is to give you the best possible information in the shortest amount of time, because I know people hate long videos. So if you found this video helpful in the slightest bit, please remember to like and subscribe here on YouTube. You can also support me by following me on Twitch, Twitter, or Patreon. Until next time, September saying, be well.